Okay, so it's Natalie, and I'm here with Ellen Vig,
Vig,
Vig
Vig.
again, because Ellen knows a lot about power stations and using power on things. And so here I am on the floor, surrounded by all of my gadgets, which are going into my vehicle, um, like in the next
I
couple
see
of
a
days. As
Yep,
I,
I see a solar panel and a power station and a refrigerator
yep,
and a microwave
yep,
and instant pot and yeah,
yep.
cooktop.
And back here is some smaller variety items. So,
Okay.
okay, so Ellen,
Yeah.
what do you think is the first step here?
Well, how are you planning to use things? Are you going to keep them plugged in all the time? Or are you going to only plug them in when you want them? Like, have you figured out where you want to put everything?
I think that's a great question. Let me get the video started on my phone. Okay, so I think I will keep the fridge plugged in all the time. I'll probably keep the lights and some of the chargers and stuff maybe plugged in all the time, but not running
Hmm.
all the time, right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, you won't be charging all the time on a charger.
Yeah, yeah. And I have a little heater here too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the little heater that I recommended, the little Lasco.
Little heater that you
Yep.
recommended. Yep, yep. So, and I charged this. So this is charged. When I checked it this morning, it was at 99.
Great.
Let's see. So it's still at 99.
Yeah, they don't lose power sitting by themselves very quickly. Not like the lead acid batteries.
Okay. So probably the fridge is my biggest concern. And
Okay.
it's not cold right now. So it would
Yep.
have, you know, cooling down.
Yeah. So, do you want to test that?
I'd love to.
Uh,
Eco mode, it's 45 watts. And in max
Okay.
cooling mode, it's 60 watts. Shall we turn it on and see what happens?
Yeah.
All right, so I've got two different choices. I've got
Mm-hmm.
this one. Whoops. I've got this and I've got this. Let me,
Okay. Yeah, the cigarette lighter one is usually going to be more efficient
okay,
because it it takes it does a direct conversion rather than having to use the inverter to change the 12 volt to 120. So in most power stations, using the 12 volt is going to be more efficient and save your battery more than if you use the 120.
okay. Okay, so this says car socket. Is that what
Yep,
goes in?
yep,
Okay, let
yep.
me,
And you're going to have to push the button to activate that area of the
oh,
power station.
okay. Okay, so I have to push this button.
Yep,
So,
and you'll see DC when it's activated, there will be a little DC symbol that lights up, and the light for that area will be lit.
okay, so it's plugged in.
Yep, and you need to plug it in on the fridge side.
I plugged it in on the fridge side. So I'm going to turn the fridge on.
Oh, it's plugged in?
Yes, I plugged it in. The fridge is now making noise.
Awesome. And are you seeing a draw on the power station if you turn the display on?
What's the easiest way to turn the display on?
Hit one of the buttons that you don't want to turn off.
Okay, I don't know what that would be. Oh, there you go. Okay, it says 32M in the lower,
Uh-huh.
19.4 remaining remaining hours, I think. 30.7 remaining hours. That number is changing. 29.9 remaining hours.
Okay, good. That means that there's a draw. Do you see any other number that's changing?
33. watts. Oh, 33
Oh,
watts.
okay, good. Okay, yeah, so the watts is what you want to see. So it is taking power from the battery. So it's so the refrigerator is using the power station for power,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that's the current draw.
So how can we know how much other stuff I could plug in and use while the refrigerator is cooling down?
That's where my spreadsheet comes in,
Ah, yes.
uh, because you can plug those numbers in
Okay.
and see what the maximum is of your power station and what you're using. So how much you have remaining. What are the specs of your power station? How many watt hours is it?
Okay, that's a great question. Um, I think the easiest way to get that is for me to look at it on Amazon. All right, it says peak 2400 watts, 1800 watts.
And how many watt hours?
Um, is that 1056 WH?
Oh, yes. Okay. So you have 1800 watts and 1056 watt hours. So um, the the top line that you have highlighted in blue, that's how many watt hours. Yep, that's how many watt hours.
That's this number
Um,
right here.
yeah, that's how many that you want to use in your current configuration. So in your current configuration, you can you you're using up like almost 3000 watt hours and you only have just over 1000,
Okay,
which means that if you want to keep everything plugged in the way that you do and use it the amount that you're using it, it'll last for like 1/3 of a day.
okay. So,
And the highest wattage is how many things you can use at the same time.
and when you say the highest wattage, where am I looking at?
That would be when you check the boxes for using things at the same time.
Okay, so I have just checked the fridge right now.
Yep.
Oh, and that's this number. That's the highest wattage right there. Okay. And this number, the total watt hours plus 20% buffer, is if I'm using
Mhm.
all these things simultaneously. Is that right?
If you're using it for the number of hours and minutes per 24 hours that you've stated. So let's say you don't want to use the space heater, you don't need the space heater, take
Yeah.
that out, and that will drop you down another 400 watt hours per day.
So one question I would have is, can I use the space heater and the fridge simultaneously? Because those are two
Oh,
things that I might want running, like
right,
out in the cold. Yeah.
right. So that's where those check boxes come in. You check them both off, and that will give you the highest wattage if
Okay.
using multiple devices at the same time.
Okay.
So
Okay.
312, and you
Well,
have, what was it, 1800 watts?
yeah.
So that's way below it. So you can.
Okay. Great.
And the refrigerator, you have it as 60 watts. I would change that to 45.
Um, it's probably 60 right now, right? Because right now
Take a look.
it is drawing 38,
All
40.
right.
It's
Yeah.
let's
So you
41
must be in, so you're
changing.
probably in eco mode, which
40.
is good.
Oh,
Yeah, so if you're in eco mode,
yes,
it'll
I am
take,
in eco mode.
yep, so it'll take a maximum of 45.
Okay, awesome. So I can run all kinds of things at once.
Right. You just can't run them for as long as you probably want to.
Right.
So you could even do the microwave and the fridge and the heater all at the same time.
Yeah, I see that. I can't run the Instant Pot though while I have the, that's good to know. One or the other.
Yeah. And also the induction cooktop, you can't do that and the microwave
Yeah.
probably. That'd be a little much.
Right. Yeah, the induction cooktop, I put it at 900. I haven't used it
Mhm.
yet. You
Yep.
can set it for 600, 900, or 1300.
Awesome.
And the hair dryer, 1600 watts. That's a
There you
lot.
go. 1600. Yeah. So
Goodness,
that is
I need a better
almost,
blow dryer if I'm going to take one on a.
yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
that. Look at that. I cannot run the fridge and the blow dryer simultaneously. I can't even run the blow dryer at all.
Well, yeah, you can because the power station has its own surge built in.
Oh,
So you can run it. It's
okay.
just really close.
Okay. What happens if you go over? Does the power station just shut down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And most of them have an auto reset. So it shuts down on its own. And when you turn it on, it resets.
Okay. So Ellen, how about if we try turning the heater on while
Yeah. Go for it.
while the fridge is cooling off?
Yeah.
So just plug it into any one of these, huh? Now it's not a grounded plug.
Right.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Right. Yeah. So plug it into any of those. And you probably have to push the button to turn on that area of the power station because that will turn the inverter on. The inverter is not on all the time. The inverter changes the 12 volt to 120 volt.
The inverter changes the 12 volt to 120 volt. So when
Right.
I
It
plug it
converts it.
into is that the AC
Yeah.
one I just used? Okay. All right. So turning it on
Yep.
and
And is the button on the heater flicked on?
oh, it went to 309 watts,
Yeah.
308 watts.
Yeah, because that's the surge. After it'll go down to about 200 after several like 10, 20 seconds maybe.
Okay.
It'll start to settle down. So that's the surge that you need to be cautious of.
Okay. When you first plug something in, often it will cause that surge.
Yeah, particularly things that have to heat up.
We were talking about that, like a
Right.
like an oven, like when
Right.
it's
Like preheating a skillet. You put
yeah,
it on high, and then once it gets to temperature, you turn it down.
yeah. Okay.
So it's probably closer to around 200 now.
That's right. It's 219 now.
Yep.
But now it says I only have 4.1 remaining watt hours.
Yeah, because yeah, so that's you're able to run things at the same time, but not for as long as you want to,
Okay.
because it's not a very big power station.
Say it again.
It's not a very big power station. So, that 4.1 it really depends on what you're running. If you're only running the fridge, you'll be able to run it for a long time. If you want to use something that, like the fridge is only using like 45 watts compared to a heater that's 200. So um, it the heater is using 5 times the energy that your fridge is.
Yeah. So I'm going to turn the fridge off because I think we've done enough of an experiment with the fridge, and the fridge is
Yeah,
not going to be running constantly once it cools down to temperature.
right. Right. And that's why in the calculation spreadsheet, we have 12 instead of 24 for the hours,
Yeah.
because that approximates it being on and off sort of halftime.
Yeah. Now the remaining watt hours went up to
Yep.
4.8, and I'm guessing they're going to go up even more once this. I don't know if this is still surging. It's at 180.
Now that's its operating temperature now.
Okay.
So your power station is just over 1,000 watt hours.
Yeah.
So if you're using like 200 watt hours per hour, 1,000 divided by 200 is 5.
Okay. So here's my question. So I have this. I mean, this
Mm-hmm.
does have USB capacity up here, and I have all kinds of things that Well, this doesn't require USB. This is for my laptop. I can plug that in,
Mm-hmm.
see what happens. Get some info. Okay, it's taking 22 watts. My laptop, my Mac.
All right. Yep.
See it, there we go.
Great.
And
So now if you look at the watt hours remaining, it's going to be a lot.
it's ranging between 11 and 15.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very different than when you have the heater plugged in.
That's right. Okay, now if I want a whole, but if I want more USB things plugged in than I have there, is it okay to
Mm-hmm.
plug this in?
You
And
can, yeah. It's not going to be as efficient
oh,
as directly plugging the USB into the power station.
okay,
But yes, you can use it.
okay. So, for example, I have this. This is takes very little power, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure. This is my Oura Ring.
Mm-hmm.
See what
Yeah,
happens.
just a warning, you don't want to use a heater, yeah, anything that heats up on an extension cord.
Okay, so
Plug it directly into the power station.
don't plug the heater into this. Okay.
Right. Never plug heaters or things that heat up like the Instant Pot and things like that. Don't
Oh,
use them on an extension cord.
okay. So that applies to the heater, the Instant Pot, the
Yep.
induction burner,
Right. Yeah.
microwave.
Right.
Okay. Very good to
Yeah.
know.
Because, yeah, you can buy an extension cord that is suitable for it,
Uh-huh.
but most ones that you have around your house are not rated for that sort of power going through them.
Right. Okay. Now I've got, I can charge my phone. The phone is
Mm-hmm.
charged, and I can charge my watch. I'm charging
Mm-hmm.
several small things at once.
Yep. Right.
It's drawing
And
50 watts,
yeah,
and we've got 13.9 hours.
yeah,
50,
that time remaining is just such BS.
is it really?
Yeah, well, it changes all the time depending on what you have plugged in. So I mean, it's meaningless.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's switching between like 12 and 14 kind of thing. But I think
Yeah.
these little, I'm suspecting that these little things take
Mm-hmm.
little power.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're so little power.
Yeah. But this is so cool. I can plug tons of things in here.
Yeah. Just you just
Right.
can't do it for a really long time.
Right.
And that's where people get kind of hung up is that you're like, oh, it has, all of these outlets and so many things you can plug in at the same time. But then after 2 hours or 3 hours, they're like, but the battery's dead now.
Yes. Yeah. So you got to be aware of what you're plugging in and how long you're plugging it in for.
Right.
I'm wondering, it seems to me that the fridge could, once it cooled all the way down and it's got frozen food and cold food in it,
Mm-hmm.
it might be able to keep everything cold all night long without it being on. Do you think that's true?
Yeah. So one of the things that Lulu does is that she freezes the ice packs and then
Right.
puts them into a cooler, and those keep her food cold for 24 hours.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that you can do is, freeze, water bottles or, if you like to drink cold water, freeze
No.
some water. Yeah, me neither. I drink room temperature, but some people actually like ice. I
I
don't
know.
get it. Yeah. So, you can freeze water bottles and
Yeah.
put them into the cooler and then they don't melt and make a mess everywhere. And
Yeah.
you have cold stuff to drink if that's your thing.
Right. Right. Well, I'm just thinking that, like, if I have some frozen meat or whatever I've got that's frozen, if
Mm-hmm.
it's already frozen in the freezer, because this is
Right.
a
A
fridge.
duo.
This has two compartments, and
Yeah.
one of them can be a freezer and one of them can be a fridge, or vice
Yep.
versa, or they can
Yep.
both be the fridge or they can both be the freezer. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which one I'm going to want for which. It depends on what I end up buying, like what
Right.
food, because I don't know yet what I
Right.
want to eat on the road.
Yeah.
But I figure once everything in it is frozen and
Mm-hmm.
it seems to
It'll
be pretty well
stay.
insulated, it'll stay.
Yeah.
I can turn the fridge off overnight if it's
Absolutely.
cold and I want to run the heater or something.
Yeah. And you know what else I do is I'll wrap it up. So I have an insulated bag for my fridge, but if you don't have one, bring a comforter with you
Okay.
and wrap it around your fridge underneath, put the comforter down, put the fridge on it, and then wrap the comforter around it, and it'll keep it cold for like 2 or 3 days.
Huh. But you have to be careful because they do have vents somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
that's if
Yeah.
it's not running. Yeah. Once
Oh,
you
but
have
if
it
it's
to
not
temperature,
running, it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
that's right.
Oh, you're talking about when it's off. Okay.
Right. When it's off, wrap it up and it'll keep cold for like 2 days.
Wow.
If it's frozen stuff in there, yeah, I mean, the frozen stuff will defrost, but it'll be cold.
Well, it'll defrost a little bit, but it takes a couple of days for a frozen chunk of something to defrost in the
Right.
fridge. So
Yeah, turkey. Oh my God, that takes like a week.
yeah, so it's going to take
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very cool. I feel so much more empowered now, Ellen.
Oh, good. That's my goal.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just love the knowledge that you've accumulated here and how you've made it so easy to figure out all of these electrical components, because I bought a bunch of them on Black Friday deals because I knew I
Yeah.
was going to be ready to go soon. But then
Right.
I got them and I was afraid
What do I do?
of them. Like I did, I turned on the fridge and I cooled it down, but then I got stymied because I couldn't figure out how to make the damn app work. So,
Hmm.
but kind of one thing at a time.
Right.
I think that microwave is too big and too high of watts to think about bringing.
Yeah, it depends what you want to do with it. What are you going to be using it for? Is it better to use that or the induction top or a little propane stove?
Yeah, it's the propane stove thing is a question because I'm going to turn this phone. I'm going to turn the
Hmm.
phone off because I'm not using it. Um, the I don't want to use a propane stove inside the
Yep.
van.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's too small.
It's
The
too
roof
small.
is so close.
The fumes, I don't want to
Yeah.
breathe them, and I don't want to risk. Like the only one I have is a little backpacking thing, which is very
Hmm.
typical. Just like it just feels.
Yeah.
That's why I bought the induction thing.
Hmm.
And I've yet to figure out what kind of pans I'm going to use
Yep.
because not all of them work on the induction.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm trying to go low toxicity, and
Yes.
it's complicated because you got to have it. It has to be easy to clean. There's just
Right.
like so many factors. Um,
Yeah, stainless steel can clean up really easily if it's good quality.
well, I have a all clad stainless steel, and
Yeah.
it can be a real pain in the butt to clean up if
Okay.
because it has to be seasoned,
Yeah,
just
cast
like
iron.
cast iron. And cast iron, I use cast iron at home, but it's heavy as
Yeah.
hell.
Oh, it's so heavy. Yeah.
So I just haven't figured it out. But anyway, I've
Yep.
got the Instant Pot. I've got some stuff. I'll because I'm doing my first camping trip this weekend.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'll be out a couple nights. So I'll be putting all this stuff inside there.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that'll tell you a lot. Once you get the stuff in there and start to use it, you'll see what works for you in your space.
yeah, I don't yet have my bed frame, and it's not coming until after this trip. So that's
Yep.
unfortunate. I can't, really
Hmm.
sort everything out. But but
Right.
I can bring this stuff and see how it all works, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
Okay, any advice before we
No, just, feel free to contact me if you run into problems.
well, I will put Ellen's contact information, her YouTube channel. Is that the best way for people to get a hold of you, or do you want something else?
Yeah. So, YouTube is probably the easiest because I have all the videos on there, all of the resources,
Yeah,
and you can always write a comment. I check every day.
great,
So yeah, feel free to leave a comment and I'll write you back.
great, fantastic. Well, I look forward to meeting you in person in
Me
Florida
too. Me
in
too.
a little over a month.
Oh,
Or-
I can't believe it's so close.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
yeah. We got all kinds of trips planned. Okay, Ellen,
Yep.
thanks so much for doing this. This was great. This was
Yeah,
very,
my pleasure. Glad to
I
help
hope,
out.
yeah, I hope the people
Yeah.
watching this got something out of it. And, I'll put whatever links I can below of the equipment that I have, if you want to check
Hmm.
it out. And thanks so
Yeah,
much.
great. Oh, my pleasure. Keep me on speed dial for the weekend.
Speed dial for the weekend. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.